What's up, Vikings Nation? So yesterday, the Minnesota Vikings decided to give Danielle Hunter a new contract. Makes about $17 million fully guaranteed, can make up to $20 million with $3 million in incentives, so 17 plus 3 equals 20. And that's because he wanted a new contract. He was set to play on only $5.5 million this season. He said, I ain't doing it, came to training camp, wasn't practicing until a deal got done. They ended up giving a new deal for this season. So what exactly does this deal mean for the Vikings now and in the future? Well, Judd Zulgad of the Vikings territory wrote this article and explained why this is a win for the Minnesota Vikings, and then kind of went through what it means for us this season, and then what it means in the future with contracts and other things like that have to happen down the road. So why is this a win for the Vikings? Well, Hunter's age and injury history had to play a role in the team's hesitation not to do a longer deal. The reality is that the Hunter can't miss badly by not hitting the jackpot on his second contract, and that will forever haunt them, okay? But that's not the Vikings' problem. Managing their salary cap is the concern, and having Hunter under contract for 3 to 5 more years likely would have meant paying him the type of money he no longer deserved in his 30s, especially if he gets injured again and again and again. Now, the Vikings already were on the hook for an $11.2 million cap hit in 2024 because of 2 void years built into Hunter's contract. Now, there is no cap hit in 2025 because the void years accelerate all to the next season. Now, if Hunter has a huge season, he likely will get paid by someone, but it's a bad business to reward a veteran with a large payday when you can hear the clock ticking on his career. I still, in the back of my head, I think he still has at least a couple more seasons left in the tank. For sure, one more long-term contract under his belt, especially if he stays healthy. Now, if he does get injured, that kind of window of his career is going to close exponentially, kind of get a couple more years, maybe 2 years instead of like a 3 to 5 year contract. It wouldn't be that much. So what does it exactly mean for the Vikings now, this season? Well, O'Connell's approach was to keep Hunter as happy as possible and hope that a deal got done. Now, many think that the Vikings defense still will be terrible under Flores, but I'm not sure it will. Me and Judd agree on that. I think our defense is going to be way better than what it was with Ed Donatell at the helm, okay? Just saying that, I think it's pretty apparent that it's going to be better. Now, will Flores have a top defense or a top 10 defense? Probably not. You never know, though, right? But Flores is installing a new, more aggressive scheme that should keep offenses far more off balance than they were when facing Donatell's passive scheme. At least I hope so. Now, some felt Hunter had a down year last year, but you can make a case that he thrived considering how he was used. Flores isn't going to make the same mistake, and the Vikings defense should be the beneficiary. Now, Davenport, whose sack total dropped from 9 in 2021 to a half sack in 2022, should benefit from Hunter's presence after he signed a 1-year, $13 million contract as a free agent this offseason. Now, they're talking about Davenport's 1-year, $13 million contract. Now, Davenport's base salary is only $1.5 million, and this is a prove-it deal. An effective pass rush is essential for the Vikings considering the question marks the team has with a group of young cornerbacks. Getting pressure should relieve some of the stress on the secondary. So that is what it means for us currently right now. We needed to shore up that line, make sure we kept our edge rushers, the cornerstone of our defense, basically the vets there and intact because of those young corners, trying to keep that pressure off of our secondary, kind of force them to make hesitant throws, to force the passes in pockets that they might not want to and stuff like that. Get pressure on the quarterback. That is what this currently means for the Vikings now. So what does this deal mean for the future of the Minnesota Vikings? Well, we got a lot of people to sign. He said, Hunter is set to join free agency after this season by quarterback Kirk Cousins, wide receiver KJ Osborne, and tight end TJ Hawkinson. Now, Hawkinson is likely to get an extension in the coming months, but the other 3 are a different story. KJ Osborne, Kirk Cousins, Danielle Hunter, all set to be free agents next year. We really don't know what's going to happen with those guys. Now, the Vikings are continuing negotiations with star wide receiver Justin Jefferson. He has 2 years left on his rookie contract, but is eligible for an extension. And standout left tackle Christian Darrisaw will also be eligible to sign an extension after the season. I'm sure both of those will get done. Christian Darrisaw already, showing like that he plays like Trent Williams from the 49ers and stuff like that. He's very consistent at that left tackle position. Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the National Football League. Both those guys probably going to get signed. All right, now the Vikings are going to have to make some difficult choices, starting with whether they want to give Cousins another rich multi-year contract or start looking for a younger, cheaper quarterback that allows salary cap flexibility. All right, now that is something Adolfo-Mensah is likely focusing on at the moment. O'Connell, however, is in a year-to-year job, and getting Hunter on the field Monday should make 2023 a better year for the Vikings. So getting this deal done was critical for the Vikings' success, or for them to have success this season. But in the future, it kind of leaves a bunch of question marks, okay? We already know Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, and TJ Hawkinson are going to get their contract extensions. As for Kirk Cousins, KJ Osborne, Danielle Hunter, look, one of them is going to have to go. Plain and simple. That's just what's going to have to happen. And it wouldn't shock me if Danielle Hunter was that man, or if Danielle Hunter and KJ Osborne were both the people that got released. Because maybe we can go in the draft this next year and draft an edge rusher maybe in the first round or something like that. We can replace that, okay? Well, you might be able to replace that. It depends on how Hunter performs and if he stays healthy and stuff like that. KJ Osborne, I really feel like you could replace him, especially if Jordan Addison turns out to be what we think he wants, or what we think he's going to be and stuff like that. So KJ Osborne could find a new team. We find or fill his role with a younger, cheaper wide receiver, end up extending Kirk Cousins. However, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but one of those three, potentially two of those people, are going to have to leave in the future. That is what this deal currently means for Danielle Hunter and for the Minnesota Vikings. Basically, right now, it's for success this season. In the future, there's a bunch of question marks. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think about this. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're only 24 subs away from 1,000 on Minnesota Vikings Syndicate. And if you're on Minnesota Vikings Syndicate 2.0, hey, you can hit the subscribe button as well. We're almost to 300. I believe we're 20 subs away from 300. So make sure to subscribe. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your night, folks. And Skol Vikes.